Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here. And in this 3D Printed Profits episode, I am welcoming back Bill Eskildsen. I can say his name now. I couldn't say it before. I can say his name now. So 2 years ago, when all of this first started, I interviewed Bill, and Bill was one of the ones that he was hustling. He was selling those dragons, Cinderwing. Shout out to Cinderwing. That seems to be like the product of the decade, you guys. Anyway, so Bill was one of those guys. He was hustling. He was doing shows every weekend. And during the time after his interview, Bill and I kept in touch. And he actually went full time. Is that right, Bill?
Correct.
Yeah.
I have
So
gone full time.
went full time, and I was really excited about it. Um, and as you guys very well know, I got burnt out from the podcast because I was doing like 5, 6 interviews a day. I went like 80 episodes in like 3 months. It was nuts. I was doing an episode a day, basically. And but during that time, I stayed in touch with Bill, and Bill was just kicking ass. And so I'm really excited to bring Bill back because he was one of those guys that I was like, man, I cannot wait to get this guy back to do a Where Are They Now episode. And so here we are. Bill, welcome back, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I see that you've we were talking about this in the pre-show chat. You have a lot of upgrades in the back there. I see an Optimus Prime, like an Autobots thing. Kansas City, they're going to the Super Bowl, right?
Heck yeah.
I'm a Mahomes fan. That dude can throw, dude.
He's magical. I mean, there's
Mahomes
something
is
about that kid.
Mahomes is a bad boy. That's a bad man. Anyway,
Yep.
so Bill, let's just get started, dude. How are you?
I'm doing great. Life is good.
So tell me about the business. Where are we now?
Well, as you know, when we first started here 2 years ago, um, I projected to hopefully do about 35,000 for the year. Exceeded that. Last year was even better. And decided to go full time at it. I was making more money doing that than I was at my regular full time job. So here I am.
Congratulations, dude.
Thank you. Here I am now, doing it full time, learning how to do some designing, which is new
Yeah.
for me. Um, just because I get more and more requests, special requests on things. So learning how to do that and living life. It's been fantastic.
So tell me about the leap from leaving your day job to go into this, because I remember, boy, let me tell you, that was one of the scariest things I've ever done. I remember calling Uncle Jesse. Shout out to Uncle Jesse. If you guys haven't heard the story, I called Uncle Jesse. Said, "Hey man, I'm freaking out, bro." And I texted Joel. Joel telling,
Mhm.
I freaked out. I was like, "Man, this sucks." And they said, "Dude, just jump." And so I did. And I wanted to see how it was for you.
Same thing. And I still get nervous from time to time.
I don't think it goes away, does it?
It doesn't. Um, I came off of last year doing shows. I ended up doing just over 76,000.
Wow. Is that
That
profit
was
or is that revenue?
that was revenue,
Okay.
revenue. And that was just shows. Um, Not counting Etsy, our website. And then I got into TikTok pretty heavy in about August, September of last year.
Okay. So
Um,
you're making money as a content creator. You're making money from Etsy. You're making money from your website. You're making money from shows.
right.
Wow. That's 4 income streams.
Yep.
That's
And
fantastic. Congratulations, man.
hey, thank you. Thank you. It's been fun too. And you know, over the what we call the slow months, you have, January, which we're in the middle of. February is pretty slow. March, towards the end of March, things will start ramping up because the weather will be better and shows will start back up in full force. Um, so this past month, it's been, I'll have a day where I won't have any orders submitted, and it's like, oh man, and then I'll
Oh,
get a
that'll
slew of
freak
them
you
the
out,
next day.
man.
It's like what am I doing wrong? I've got ads going, I've got this and that, and then boom, like last week I shipped to ended up being 22 states that I shipped out to.
Wow. Are you doing
So
are you doing any overseas?
I've shipped a number of things to Australia, Switzerland, um, Sweden, Denmark, and the UK.
Nice, man. Cool. So what else is going on for you? I'm so excited. I'm super curious, dude.
Um, that's really the bulk of my time is spent cultivating relationships online. TikTok's been a huge help. There's a huge 3D community on there, and everyone's willing to help everybody. You know, um, we do the live chats where everyone gets in there. You have issues with printers, you got issues selling, you got this and that going on. You can bounce ideas off each other and stay motivated. I've enjoyed that. I have gotten into here in the local area. I've got um, 3 retail locations that I'm
Wait,
selling
so
in.
so so you have TikTok income,
Right.
Etsy, Shopify, Show, and you have retail shops?
We have retail stores that we're in and selling, but they buy
Consignment, right?
wholesale. No, they buy wholesale.
Oh, they buy wholesale.
Right.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna put that in my notes. This is gonna be a long episode, you guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is gonna be a long episode. Bill just keeps talking, and I'm adding more stuff to my notes. Wholesaling.
Yeah. Yeah.
No kidding. Shit, man. This is gonna be a long episode. I hope you guys like long episodes because this might be a nice long one. All right. Let's start with it's been 2 years, right?
Hmm. Right.
What
2 years
lessons?
in March.
I'm sorry.
2 years in March, actually, will
Is
be
that
when
that's
I
what,
started the company. Yep.
wow. Wait, our interview was in March last year? I don't think so.
It was a little before that. I officially started the company in March.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So since our last talk, Bill, what lessons have you learned along the way? It's 2 years, a lot of lessons. What are the biggest lessons you've learned over the last 2 years that you didn't know when you and I last talked?
Um, the biggest challenge for me was finding the right equipment, finding the right machines that weren't going to consume all my time.
Okay.
At one point, I had 18 enders running, and it was just every night, 3, 4 hours every night, I was doing maintenance because everything was breaking down all the time.
What are you using now?
And now I've got 8 bamboos, um, two Neptune 4 Maxes, which I do my giant prints on, which I just finished yesterday, my giant axolotl.
Matt Myers, man. I swear to God. Shout out
Right.
to Matt. Matt, you're an OG, bro. You you are the freaking man. Shout out to
Yep.
Matt.
Yep. He has some great stuff. But just finished up that one, and having the Neptune 4 Max allows me to be able to print these big things and do it fast because it is a fairly fast bed slinger. So um, yeah, it's all been machinery, getting the right tools to get things done fast in great quality, and so I can get it all out the door.
So it sounds like reliability was your biggest concern as far as
Mhm.
machine wise, right? So
Oh yeah,
if you were spending 2 to 4 hours every night on maintenance on the Ender threes, Bamboo Labs, dude, I'll spend like 30 minutes every 3 months, dude. If that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That thing will workhorse. So do you
Oh
have the
yeah.
P1P or the X1C?
I have what I have. Let's see. I gotta think. 7 P1Ps and 1 P1S.
P1S. So no X1Cs.
Correct. And I do
Okay.
have one. I just got it in a few weeks ago, I guess. One of the A1s.
The A1s. Okay. So the A1 is the same bed size, same build volume as the P1Ps, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Same build volume. Just it's more of the bed slinger style um, printer,
gotcha. But
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 it's
there's
still
there's really no reason for you to have an X1C because the P1P will
no.
do the job that you're looking for, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
it's an efficiency thing.
Yep. Yep. I mainly do PLA, a little bit TPU, some PETG, and that's about it.
What are you printing in flexible and TPU?
Sometimes a lot of the lizards, axolotls, that type of thing.
Really?
Um,
You charge more for that, right?
a little bit, yeah, yeah,
Okay. You
yep,
should.
yep.
You
Oh yeah.
should. Good.
And it's more of a sensory thing. We
I see.
have teachers that will buy these from us for classroom pets. Um, the fidget cubes and stuff that the teachers will buy for the classrooms for when a kid's gets real fidgety. Gives them one of those to play with during class just to keep their hands
Absolutely
busy.
brilliant. That's a niche in itself right there.
Hmm.
So printing in TPU to create sensory toys. The sensory industry is actually growing. There's a lot of demand for it that isn't being met to the extent that I think it should be.
Right.
The 3D
Yep.
printing, the 3D printing allows for a solution for that. I'm
Right.
glad you
It does.
touched on that.
It does. And if you contact the school districts, different things, they all have different rules. Um, but if you can get in with the school or something and be like, hey, here's what I have, and
Heck yeah, dude. Absolutely.
it's
I'm gonna put
safe.
that into my 3D printed profits academy. I'm gonna teach that to people and
Yep.
how to build that business in that side and have that be their niche because that in itself is very profitable. Super, super
Yep.
profitable. So what
Definitely.
else, man? What other lessons have you learned along the way, aside from getting a reliable machine and making sure that you have something that, that prints well?
Patience, obviously. you know, things things go slow at times, and you just gotta persevere and know that you're gonna have slow days, you're gonna have bad shows, you know. So you just pack up, you go to the next one. Um, our shows that we do, I've shied away from craft fairs and that type of thing. I mainly do festivals, fairs, big events like that.
Is it more
And
cost effective? It's more
it
return
is,
on your money, right?
it is. Sometimes the booth fees are more depending on the event. I've spent upwards of $500 for a 10 by 10 before.
Yeah, but
Um,
you get 10 times more the people, dude.
you do, you do. We average about around $300 an hour at the shows.
Wow.
So we outgrew the 10 by 10 pretty quickly. Now I only book 10 by 20 spaces, and
Okay. Okay, Bill. I see you. All right,
we
man.
loaded up.
Nice. So so did you invest in like a Ford F-250 to get all that inventory in there?
I've always had a truck. We did go out and get a cargo van, trailer. So
Gotcha.
I've got a big trailer that's all set up with the shelves inside, and I keep all my tables in there. And then for every show, I load up all the product, and off we go.
So what are the little things that people don't really think about when doing these shows? Like so you've grown so big that you need um larger transport, right? Like that's something that I didn't even think about, right?
Hmm.
And so what else aside from transport are the little things that get overlooked when you grow and you start your business like that?
Um, your um, your your equipment as far as how you're going to take your money, you know, who you're going to use for credit cards, that type of thing. When I first started, I had Square,
Okay, so
great product.
so that was, you used to be with Square. Who are you with now?
Right now I'm with Zettel.
Zettel. Is
Um,
it cheaper?
it is cheaper and they have better machines, in my opinion. The machines, like with Square, they clip into your phone and you have to swipe every card.
Okay,
Okay, so you're handling the customer's credit card. I never really liked that. I spent over 20 years in retail management, and I just don't like handling people's cards.
sure.
Um, so when I switched to Zettel, they've got the machines that have the card readers.
Customer does it themselves.
They do it themselves. They can tap, they insert it, put in their PIN, all 9 yards, all on their own. I don't even touch the stuff. And then I've got tablets that are hooked up to them. And through Zettel, I've got all my inventory in there. So I click on what type of dragon it is or whatever they're buying, and it adds it up. And I hit credit card. They do their thing. It's done and over with, and we move on. I quickly had to go from 1 unit to two, and at times I do still have to get out the Square just because we need a third register at the shows, depending on, because the amount of people start piling up. So make sure you have enough equipment.
Gotcha,
um,
gotcha.
and I started out with my pricing being at multiples of 5.
Okay.
And all my taxes included in my pricing. So
Okay, good.
when I'm at shows, I don't have to figure sales tax, none of that.
That's smart.
Um, it's all figured in. And I do the multiples of 5s and sales tax built in for one main huge reason. All I need to take with me for my starting cash is 5s and 10s. I don't need change. I'm not dealing in coin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a bunch of ones.
Mm-hmm.
So your cash bag, your starting bank, you don't need a variety of you don't want to overcomplicate it. Keep it
Right. No,
simple.
it makes it so simple and it sounds so efficient.
Plus, depending on who you have working for you at the shows, multiples of 5 are easier to make change with and
Absolutely.
count than thinking in terms of ones, and change. So just makes the process a little quicker at checkout. Um, I've never had an issue with my pricing. At most shows, people say I charge too little. I try to keep a good price, fair price, and have product available that when a kid comes up, they can pay for it with their allowance if they want to. So I've got products from $5 all the way up to $200 at my booths.
What is
So
the
it's
$200 product?
um
It was the
okay.
axolotl, right? It's the big guy. Yeah.
No, the axolotl is actually about 140. I've got an
I'm curious,
example
what's the big
here.
guy? What's a $200 product? I see.
So these are the giant dragons.
I see.
These
Gotcha.
guys, they're right about 50 to 55 inches long. This one happens to be the mech dragon from Plexi Factory. But
Nice,
I do
dude.
all of Cinder Wings as well in the giants. So those guys, those are the $200 ones. And then I do also the 3-foot dragons, which are the $100 dragons. There's one of Cinder Wings, big.
It's beautiful, man. She did such a good job on those dragons, dude.
Oh yeah.
Kudos to
Oh
her,
yeah.
man.
Yep. She has amazing product.
Yeah,
Yeah, and people love them, you
they
know.
do.
and they don't seem to be, people aren't getting old with them.
No,
Every
no,
year.
no, no, no. It stood the test of time.
Yeah,
Kudos to her, man. I'm so happy for her. She's doing a great job.
yep. Every show we go to, I've been to now um, shows multiple times a year, where I've repeated, and I run into the same customers. They still love the Crystal Dragon. They'll just get one in a different color. They're like, I still have the one from last year I got from you, and I need a friend for it. And so people aren't getting old. They're not over them.
That's awesome, man. That's great to hear, dude. That's you have a good product on your hands. It sells. You're continuing business. Dude, everything's running well for you. So let's talk about inventory management because you said that when they ring up, the dragon shows up, so on and so forth. What are you using any software for inventory management? Like how are you managing, what you need to replenish, what you need, what sells the best, so on and so forth. What are you doing for that?
Um, in the Zettel app that I use,
So Zettel
it
has inventory.
tells, yeah, you put in your inventory into there. At the end of every show, you can print a report. It'll show up on the tablet as well, or your phone, that tells you here's what sold the most, how many. You can do it by quantity or dollar amount. It gives you your top items, and you can also break it down to, how many of every single item you sold at that show. So I know if I sold, 35 small crystal dragons, I know if I sold one elephant, it tells me in there exactly how many of each I sold.
Gotcha. So it's all done through Zettel. Is
Hmm.
Zettel free?
Um, you just got the transaction fees.
Okay. Do they
You
send you
know,
the machine for free or do you have to buy that?
the machine itself is about $100 if you want the
That's
one
not
that
bad, dude. That's not
does.
bad at all.
No, no. If you want the one that has the chip reader and everything,
Does it
uh,
connect to does it work through the Wi-Fi or um,
Bluetooth,
Bluetooth? Okay. So
Bluetooth
the machine will connect with your phone and your phone
is the
acts
Wi-Fi
as
base. Yeah.
the media.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Sweet, dude. I'm gonna save wholesaling for last because that's a big conversation. Um, Earlier you mentioned ads. Did I hear that
Hmm.
correctly?
Correct. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where are you running ads? Are you running it on TikTok, Facebook? Where are you running it?
Mostly on TikTok.
Okay, so
Um,
how is that running? Because I just started TikTok ads literally today. How's that
okay.
going for you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Getting a decent response. I'm still playing with the numbers. Um, Basically, from what I understand, you got to find the sweet spot, whether it's um, $20 a day, $25 a day, $30 a day. You just got to kind of play with it and see where for you, you know, that sweet spot is. Um, what I've really liked actually about TikTok ads and the way that TikTok runs those things, they will assign a TikTok representative to guide you.
Really?
So I've got a person that I meet with about every other week. She's available weekly if I want her. But at least every other week, we touch base for about a half an hour. And she'll go through the ad that I have going or whatever, and let me know, here's what you could do to improve this stat. Try using this video off of your TikTok instead of the one you're using for the ad, or whatever. They're there to help and give tips and tricks and help you understand the process because it is kind of confusing
Yeah,
at first.
they did make it simple to set up. I've been using ads for a long time. I've been on Facebook ads, and it's very similar what TikTok is doing. The slight differences are what make it confusing a little bit. I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, they will. I've never had an issue with getting someone to help me. You know, I've had issues last week with some tracking of shipments where the post office didn't scan the box when it left, so it was still showing up as not dropped off
Hmm.
in the system. And you know, I got a response back from TikTok. It took about 24 hours, you know, as far as how I needed to handle that, and you know, and so forth. But they've been pretty responsive and helpful so far.
Gotcha. Did you start a TikTok shop as well, or is it all just
Yeah.
ads?
No, I have a shop. I have a TikTok shop as well on there.
How's that doing?
All fantastic. I do better so far. I've done better at that than Etsy.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
Because
yeah, yeah.
our
Etsy's slow.
Etsy's fees are astronomical, man. They're asinine, if I'm being honest,
Yep,
dude.
they
It's
are.
really bad.
Yep. And Etsy's more of a race to the bottom,
It
in my
is. It really
opinion.
is.
I don't know what people are thinking or whatever, but their pricing is whack.
I agree. I totally agree. So TikTok shop, man, it's blowing up. People are making money hand over fist here.
Yep,
So
yep.
is this now, are you now from eight, you know, bamboo machines, are you going to buy a couple more to keep up with the demand? Because I'm trying to calculate everything in my head, and I'm like, dude, you need to be running, you know, 12, 15 machines.
And I keep adding. I keep adding as I needed. Um, you know, right now the machines I have are keeping up. Anytime that I don't have something that needs printed, I'm printing inventory for the shows. My next show, I've got a small show here this week at a local brewery. They asked me to come down for their Valentine deal, so I'm going to go down there and sit and network probably more than anything. But otherwise, my next show isn't until beginning of March. So between now and then, it's just printing. If I don't have a customer order going, it's printing another dragon. It's printing another raccoon, fox, whatever, to keep building that inventory up so that when show season starts, I've got enough inventory sitting already to cover 2 to 3 shows. So
Oh,
that when I'm
wow.
done, so when I'm done with one show, as I'm printing to recoup from that, I still have, you know, 2 more shows worth before I run out.
So that's how much inventory you carry. Is your garage like, can you walk through your garage at this point? Like, where are you
Oh yeah.
keeping all of this?
Oh yeah. I keep it in the print lab. I've got it all in boxes and yeah,
Dude,
all
this is
sorted and
amazing.
separated.
This is insane, Bill. You are just killing it, dude. You're murdering the game. I love this.
It's
Let's
been a
talk
wild
about
ride. It's
what's that?
been a wild ride.
Man, I can tell. Let's talk about design. You mentioned design earlier. You said you're trying to learn design. What software are you using?
Mostly Tinkercad
Okay.
because it's simple. You know, I'm getting up there in age. Things are a little
Oh,
tougher for me.
stop it. Knock it off.
A lot of it's time. I don't have a time to sit there and totally relearn. Uh, it's just finding the time to dive
Gosh,
into like
yeah.
Blender.
I mean, you went full time in this. You must be busy as all heck. And at this point, the growth part is you're going to need some help, Bill. The next step is scale. And to
Mhm.
scale, you're going to need to remove yourself and put yourself on the top and start delegating the tasks that need to be performed so you can focus on the thing that you're supposed to be doing, which is growing the business and seeing and being that general for your army, basically, man.
Yep, yep, and it'll get there. I we're projecting and planning.
That's awesome, dude.
It'll be a great year. We'll see how things pan out, but there's plans. But so yeah, on the designing side, I've played with Blender a little bit because I do some of the light boxes, and I'm trying to design some of my own in that area because I have businesses in the area that are wanting them with their logos on it and that type of thing. So working on that. And then I've had requests, and this one here, I haven't released the STL, being a little greedy with it, but it is a technically a pin display for beaded pins. You know, the beaded and
Okay.
jeweled pins that have just gone crazy in the last like
Yeah.
8 months. People are going nuts over them. And I had a retailer reach out to me and ask me if I could make one, and because they've all they found them was made of wood and stuff, and they wanted something that had more color and that. So I went in and designed these. So I've got multiple sizes and stuff, and I sell them, and they're on my shops and website and everything else. But I ship out 5 to 10 of these a week around the country.
Wow. And how
Um,
much are you selling those for?
the small one is 40, the large one is 60.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, just that
Um,
alone is $400 a week. You say a week?
mhm, yeah.
Dude, okay, let's call it $500 a week. It's between 40 and 60, right? 10 average. Well,
Hmm.
a week? Dude, that's
Yep.
2 grand a month just in that one product alone.
Yep.
Wow. Dude,
Yeah.
wow.
They're great. And I take them to the shows with me, because I'll run into vendors that are selling the pens and stuff. And, I'd be like, hey, this would look great on your table, you know, and I'll end up selling them at the shows to other vendors.
So you have, right now it's a circular shape. Would you have
Mhm.
one which is elongated so they can display it like this rather than
I I will shortly. I'm working on multiple shapes and
right? So
sizes.
you would have it horizontally and then it would be a
Mhm.
stair step so that it's
Yeah.
staggered and you can display more, right? Because the eye, you see it, they only see here. They have to spin it, but if it's there for a display, your eyes can scan the
Right.
product. Just
Yep.
little tips and tricks there, kind of little
Oh
marketing
yeah.
thing, right? When you're at the
Yep.
show. Um,
Yep. And a lot of them will put these round ones on Lazy Susans.
right. So you would have those and you can spin them.
Yep.
Um,
Or the electric ones that automatically just keep going around.
yeah. You would also want one of those just horizontal, just so your eyes can
Hmm.
scan it for the table in the front.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Wholesaling. Dude, I cannot. You got to start. How, how, dude, how did it start? Like, how did you find the person that you were working with?
Well, you got a cold call. You know,
Cold call. Oh,
old
I love
fashioned
it.
old fashioned footwork. I mean, you know, I shop. I go into different stores and especially mom and pop shops, and I'll see depending on what they have in the store. It's like, hey, would you be interested in this type of merchandise? And get the conversation going. Show them what you have. Um, I pull up the website, and then they get really interested because 3D printing. They may not know exactly the process, so then I'll pull up the Bamboo app and um, turn on one of my printers. That way they can see the live feed, you
Yeah.
know, and get them interested, and then it's just negotiating percentages at that point,
Do
you
you
know.
do you have a minimum order that you ask for?
I don't know. I it and usually to make it worth their time, I've never had an order be for like 2 or 3 pieces. It's usually, anywhere from 500 to $1,000 at a time when they order.
Attaboy. And so
So
you have three wholesalers?
Correct.
And
That are
so,
that are stores. I do have some that also are resellers at shows. So vendors that
dude,
do
you're the
shows.
man. That I think that's an even better business because you don't have to go to shows anymore. You're the supplier,
Correct.
right? You went from seller you, to seller manufacturing, and you're transitioning just to manufacturing, and you have distributors and they go
Mhm.
out.
Ideally, that's where I want to be. I want to not go to, I don't want to have to go to a show unless I want to do that show. You know what I mean?
I
Because
do know what you mean.
there's certain ones that are a lot of fun to be at. And I want to do that show every year, or I want to do a show. I'm located in Kansas City. Okay. So especially during these winter months, I want to do a show in Galveston, Texas, or I want to go, somewhere fun, that's warm.
Okay, sorry. I'm from Texas, dude. That beach in Galveston it sucks, dude. It's so dirty.
It is, but I like
It's so bad, dude. Go to Destin
Galveston
or
itself pretty
something.
fun.
Go to Florida, bro. Come on. He said Galveston, Texas. Like, Bill, go somewhere else. You can afford it, damn it. Um,
Uh,
but dude, that is amazing. Oh my gosh, that is the highlight of this interview, you guys, to be honest. The whole selling part, that is an incredible idea. So you just cold called. You're just like, hey, do you guys wanna? And that's it.
yeah, the vendors usually they approach me, because they see what I'm doing and they see the draw to the table. And I I talk to all the vendors, throughout the show. I don't talk up, how much I'm doing or whatever, because a lot of them I feel kind of bad for. Some of them they struggle to make back their fees. Some of these people at these shows, they're doing woodwork and beading and and stuff. They're working hard, you
Yeah,
know.
I do feel bad because
Um,
I've been to conventions and I see these people and they're just sitting there on their phone. They're not selling any of their stuff. Dude, no one's at their table.
right, right. And then by the end of the weekend, sometimes I'll have one that'll come over and be like, "Hey, how did you get into this? Would how would I be able to get into it?" And it's like, well, you can go out and buy all the printers, learn how to maintenance them, and start printing them, or
Oh,
I can print them for you,
that was it.
and
The or
yeah, or I can make it easy for you, and you just make the money,
that was it, dude. That was the line.
you
That's
know,
awesome.
and
That's awesome.
and then you pick them up, and then the trick becomes, you know, I try to stay out of their territory. If I have a wholesale like I do, um, up in Iowa, um, I coordinate with them. If I plan on doing a show, I'll say, hey, are you planning to do this show? Um, do you have a big following in that area? Well, if they do, I'll pass. I've got plenty of other shows I can find and do. I don't want to step on their toes, and if they're making money, I'm making money.
Hmm.
But if they're not going to go to that area and make the money, then I'm going to go there and make the money. You know what I mean?
Right.
So um, I try to be very respectful of those people and where they're at, and I don't want them to feel like, hey, this guy just sold me all this merchandise and now he's competing with me.
Right. No, that'd be such a dick move, dude.
Exactly. And then I know there's some people out there that do it.
That's for real?
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
I've
nice,
I've,
man.
I've heard from from people that are doing it. And I've actually picked up one person that dumped the person they were dealing with and came over to me and started buying from me because
Man,
of that.
ethics, dude. My gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Wow, man.
that's how I do it at the shows. And I've got a couple of those. And then the stores, like I say, you just cold call, talk to them. If you think your merchandise will fit in there, strike the conversation. You may have to start with something small, a few things here. One of my stores, he had tried 3D printing, someone that was doing 3D printing previously. It flopped, mainly because of the price. They were charging way, way too much,
Mm,
you know. And so then his cost had to be way more. So the price
yeah.
of the in price was just so out of reach that it just didn't work. And so we started with, I think, only 3 items. He ordered 10 of each item, and um, the price was good, and they sold. He came back, and then he basically opened up the catalog, and was like, okay, let's run with this stuff and see how it does, and then add more and more items, you know, as he got more comfortable. So
Dude,
sometimes you got to start small with them.
that's awesome, man. So start small, grow into it. Don't rush it. Just like any other
Yeah.
thing. You guys, a lot of people jump into this entire thing
Yeah.
and they want to scale immediately, right?
Mhm.
No, stop. There's a method to this. There's steps. You don't climb up a ladder and jump to the top rung while you're trying to scale some things immediately. You have
Yeah.
to go through the process, right?
Yeah. And
And
sometimes you have to turn business away,
yeah, learn how
you
to
know.
say no. There's God, I can't begin to tell you how many designs I've said no to. How many people are like, hey, make this for me? Like, dude, no, I'm sorry. I can't. It's not, it's gonna be a one-off and I just can't do that. Um,
Hmm.
so dude, that's wow. This episode is so jam-packed. It's so jam-packed with stuff. People are gonna need to watch this one several times over to get all this stuff. Bill, dude, I really, really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for being here, bro. You're a busy man, and I know I already took up, 45 minutes of your time, something you could have been doing, but you chose to spend your time with me, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much. Um, before we go, as always, man, what is your number one tip for people who want to start, grow, and scale their business?
Be patient, think big, and don't give up.
There you go. You guys, again, Bill, thank you so much for being here. And if you guys want to start, grow, and scale your business, come see me. I'll help you. We'll do Zoom calls. You'll have access to all my classes, all of it. Okay. 30printedprofits.com right there. Peace out, guys.